Welcome to the Once Upon a Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast with your hosts, Josh Kimmel, Dave Campbell, and Justin Bowerly.
Welcome to Once Upon a Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast. This is your host, Josh. We are coming to you live on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. We got a showdown of players today, a bunch of great topics, a bunch of great players to discuss. But first, I got to introduce my co-host, Mr. I don't know what to call him today. Very go vote today, like Justin. Like voting's important. Make sure you vote for the right one.
Early voting is out right now.
It looks like you're a Joey Bosa fan. I'm not sure. I can't tell. But you just Thanos me. Did you see that?
I did that on purpose from Indiana.
Seriously though, you look good. Your new gimmick is pretty cool. Like I'm just suit guy. I'm just Cody Rhodes mixed with
one of us has to take the show professionally, professionally.
Sure,
right?
sure.
Seriously, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, seriously. But seriously though,
we'll vote.
It's awesome to be back. Yeah, go vote.
Well,
sure, your vote.
If
matters.
you vote, go vote.
But anyway, that was awkward. But let's get less awkward. Let's get into things we actually know we should talk about and things we should talk about.
Yeah.
Which is fantasy football and the matchups we have going into week 9. We're already week 9. So before you know it, we'll be in the playoffs. Before you know it, we'll be talking about rookies. Before you know it, we'll be talking about the players that blew up in the last 3 weeks. And then we'll say, oh, these are the hot topics. These are the hot guys. Go get this player. And then before you know it, you'll be overdrafting that player. And before you know it, that player will be dropped on your team because it happens every single year.
Happens every year. We could talk about it right now if you really want to, because we do have some fantasy football news that is relevant to everyone watching right now.
Let's go.
And listening.
Give us
fantasy news here. First off, there is a big trade that happened yesterday. Deontay Johnson is now on another team. He is a Raven, so he has joined the Baltimore Ravens. We expected him to be traded last week, and here he is. He's now a Baltimore Raven. Compensation is a pick swap. I think the Ravens gave up a 6th round pick, and I think the Panthers got a 5th round or something like that. But there is a chance. I was listening to this morning that if Deontay Johnson does not return to the Ravens after this year, because it is a contract year, the Ravens' compensatory pick is actually going to be higher than the pick that they gave the Panthers.
Sure.
So that it's a win-win for the Ravens, whether he does well or he leaves. So,
but we just care about fantasy, and at least I just care.
But that is fantasy relevant. Deontay Johnson is supposed to be a good wide receiver. He should be on people's rosters. He should not be on the waiver wire. So, it's fantasy relevant. Another fantasy relevant story: Joe Flacco will start for the Indianapolis Colts. Moving forward for the as of 10 minutes ago, they finally officially said no. This is for the rest of the season. So. This means good things for Josh Downs, Michael Pittman, Mo Cox. I put some stats out there earlier today that the 2 games that Joe Flacco started in, Mo Cox scored a combined 20 points in those 2 weeks, and he scored combined 3 points for the rest of the season. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
You told me you put a ban on you acted like.
I just asked not to talk about it.
You put a ban on him. You said we cannot talk about Anthony Richardson, and I said
he's not fantasy relevant. But this was a fantasy relevant news story because now the wide receivers for the Indianapolis Colts supposedly should be better. So
I am curious to hear Derek's take on this. Our fantasy show, our dynasty show. What does this mean for Anthony Richardson in the future? Is he about to get Josh Rosen? There's a lot. This is dynasty take, right? I know we're a redraft show primarily, but man, this is huge for everyone that invested a 1st round pick in this guy or traded for him 2 firsts or whatever it may be, just for him to be the worst quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were supposed to do the I guess we don't do that. There he is. And before we get into the whole showdowns, make sure you follow us on Twitter at Justin Bowerly, at Josh Kimmel OUS. I will be guest hosting on Greg Kellogg's show Thursday night, so make sure you follow me over there as well. I already guess who one of my guests is? Our old pal Rick. Remember Rick? He's going to be on that show as well. Yeah, he's going to be on that show as well. So I get to talk to him for the first time in a while. So I can't wait for that. And excuse me for my lighting. I'm using natural lighting today And the clouds just are coming and going, people. It's a rainy day here in Tampa Bay. So I apologize.
It is the perfect fall day outside right now here in Indianapolis. I see a tree from my window and it is red. Half
Red.
the leaves are about half the leaves are on the tree right now.
Why are
Because
trees red?
it's fall. The leaves are red and orange and
I've
yellow and
never seen an orange tree in my life, or red. Never. Don't know what you're
usually
talking about.
usually the leaves are green. It's fall, so the leaves
Always.
turn colors and they fall.
I'm looking at
Um,
palm trees and they're green, Justin. So I don't know what
I
you're talking
I
about.
s I see no clouds in sight, and it is a balmy 71 degrees right now. It is the perfect fall day in
Well,
Indianapolis.
there you go. I hope to see these red trees one day. I really, really do.
I'll
Because
take
they
a
don't.
picture for you.
I appreciate
They're
that.
so beautiful.
I
So
appreciate it.
beautiful.
Then I could be like Michael Scott, save it on my desktop and say, why would I need to travel when I have it all right here, right in
Yeah.
front of me? That was a
Yeah.
good episode. But we have a good episode. Quarterback decisions. We have Bo Nix, who's been on fuego lately, and Caleb Williams, who has also been on fire, except for minus last week, which we'll talk about. So we have this decision. Are we starting the guy we drafted in Caleb Williams, or are we starting the guy who we picked up off of waivers a couple weeks ago in Bo Nix? Justin, I'll let you start.
Yeah, here's something that the experts won't tell you on a lot of the sites. I'm looking at should you start Caleb Williams or Bo Nix, and 12 of the 16 experts will tell you Caleb Williams because he's just ranked better. But if you really dive into the stats, Bo Nix has the better matchup here. Surprisingly, even though he's going against Baltimore, apparently it's better. Baltimore gives up 2.1 passing touchdowns per game. 2.1. They give up 2 touchdowns a game. The Cardinals barely give up 1, so they give up about 1. All signs lead towards Bo Nix having another big game. The Baltimore pass defense is not as great against the quarterback position, and like we talked about yesterday, Bo Nix does get some of the rushing in games that he does really well in. So if Bo Nix gets involved in the rushing game and in the passing game effectively, all signs lead to Bo Nix having the better game. He scores more points on average over the last 3 weeks. He is QB6. Over the last 4 weeks, he's been QB2 or 3. Bo Nix has been on fire lately. That offense has figured it out, and somehow the Broncos are doing really, really well this season. But it's being overshadowed by the Chiefs. So,
Yeah,
but I'm going Bo Nix right here.
Yeah, and it makes sense. And I definitely understand you're going Bo Nix, and I'm glad you did, and I thought you would. And I did look up some stats, and I did get prepared for this show, and I'm picking Caleb Williams still. Even though Baltimore is one of the worst passing defenses in the league, that's totally fine. Arizona is also one of the worst passing defenses in the league. The past 3 games, Arizona's given up 273.7 passing yards per game. That is second to last, but last is Baltimore. Baltimore is literally dead last in the last 3 weeks for passing defenses. So I understand that's why you would choose Bo Nix. I get that. Arizona's not sacking the quarterback. They're not getting to the quarterback at all. They're not top. I would say they're bottom 5 in sacks on team defense with only 15 sacks this season. Pretty bad. And the New York for scale, New York Giants are first with 35. So they're about 20 off of that stat right there. So that gives me, the biggest problem with Caleb Williams is when he plays a team that can get to the quarterback, that can pressure him, he doesn't know what to do. Give this guy time. We've seen it time after time. He shreds bad, poor defenses. He has the weapons to do it. He has more weapons than Bo Nix. You talk about rushing. He rushes the ball as well. He averages 43.6 rushing yards per game in the last 3 weeks. So Caleb can get out of the pocket and make some plays on the ground. 4.43 yards a game rushing. Put in that perspective of touchdowns, that's 1 touchdown per game added because of his rushing stat with that 4 baseline. The Bears are a top 10 in passing attempts in the season. They do like to throw the ball a ton. Like I said, they have Keenan Allen, the corpse of Rome Odunze. Good luck with that guy, by the way. I'm trashing him when I'm trying to bump him up, but I can't help it. And DJ Moore, of course. They have and Cole Kmet. Like they have an all-star cast, and don't forget DeAndre Swift. Can't say that about Bo Nix. Bo Nix has been doing it on a fluke, in my opinion. I do think he's a decent quarterback, but how long can it continue? Will the bright lights really disturb him when he goes against Lamar this week? That's a big task. Who have they played in the past 3 weeks? That's what I want to know. It wasn't Lamar.
But Bo Nix also isn't going against Lamar. He's going against the Ravens defense, who has not been doing well against the quarterback position.
When you watch ESPN, it's always this guy versus this guy. I understand that. I'm just trying to be big national. You're wearing the suit.
Over the last 4 weeks, they've played against Las Vegas. Okay, it's Las Vegas.
Trash.
The Chargers, who their defense is okay. New Orleans, who has a pretty good defense. That was actually his worst game over the last 4 weeks with only 14 points. And then Carolina. So not really anybody. Again,
And no,
Baltimore's.
and not the big stage. You know what I mean? Like Baltimore's a big game. None of those
Yeah.
games were big games. That's what
Yeah,
I meant
no,
by
you're
that.
right.
So let's see what happens when he plays a big game. Let's see what happens when he plays a game that matters. Now that they're on this little winning streak and they're winning football games and they're looking better, let's see how the pressure adds to Bo. Let's see if it makes him better or makes him worse. Let's not forget his only supporting cast is Cortland Sutton. And people are going out there picking Troy Franklin up, hoping he gets 5 catches for 50 yards. It's not looking good over there. Bo Nix has been a lot better than what we expected, and I think that's what people are latching onto right now. But I don't see it lasting. Caleb Williams is the 101 or was the 101 for a reason. I'm not quitting Caleb unless he just starts putting up goose eggs, which he hasn't been doing. He started out crap. Now he's been really, really solid, minus last week. Last week was not good. But he played Washington last week, and Washington shutting everyone down.
Yeah, that wasn't a good game until the final 5 minutes of the game. So if you watched that game at all, it was field goals all the way until the very end. So, but yeah, he didn't have a great game against Washington. That's clear. But yeah, he's had good games against Jacksonville, Carolina,
don't bring my
Indianapolis.
You said the Colts were good. You said the Colts were good. Last week on the show,
not week 3. Not week 3. They weren't.
Last week on this show, you're like, they're shutting down Stroud. They're so good on the passing defense.
I didn't say in week 3 they were good. I didn't say in week 3 they were good.
They got Bob Sanders back out there. That's what you were saying.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Again, that was not week 3. So those were his best 3 games. The other games he put up 11.5 against the Rams, and then he hasn't put up 10 points. So.
Yeah, this one's going to be interesting, and it's going to be close. That's all I'm saying. So I could see it go either way, but I'm planting my flag with Caleb Williams.
Yeah, speaking of Caleb Williams, traded DJ Moore for Malik Neighbors in PPR. Win or loss? I think that's a win.
I'm fading away, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's just that I immediate thought was, yeah, that's definitely a win. But then I'm like, he did have 14 points last week. So.
I was having this conversation with one of my buddies before the show, actually, about Malik Neighbors. Not that Malik Neighbors is bad, so don't take this out of context. Don't clip this. Don't give us a dislike because of what I'm about to say. But Neighbors came out hot, and people were like, "This is the best rookie of all time. Oh my god!" And all of a sudden he got hurt, and then he's been cooled off ever since. 14 points. That's not great for Malik Neighbors from what we expected. Marvin Harrison, on the other hand, started out slow, and now is heating up. But people are still labeling, we can't start Harrison. He's a bust, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But then Brian Thomas over there in Jacksonville is doing better than all 3. And no one's really talking about him as being the best rookie. All I'm saying is temper your expectations. Understand, the ebbs and flows of fantasy football. Malik Neighbors did start out hot, and he has cooled off. But people are still going to ride this hot hand of he's the best rookie, blah, 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 blah. I get it. He's awesome. He's great. Let's not forget he still plays for the New York Giants and Daniel Jones. I need to see more of a sample size before I crown him. That's all I'm saying. But I would prefer Neighbors over DJ Moore.
I would too.
That's all I'm saying. But I had to get off my chest. I apologize.
Yeah, Neighbors has Wan'Dale Robinson is 4th in targets, but Neighbors is 2nd in targets. And he missed 2 games, so he's wide receiver 12 right now, missing great. 2 games. So he's been good. Hi there. Has wide receiver issue had to start 4, but has Debo and George Pickens on bye. So I whacked Pickens for Shakir. I hope love and keep Debo on bench. I don't know what we're saying.
I think he cut Pickens because he was on bye. He's on bye for Shakir, and I hope love. Man,
keep Debo. Rewrite your.
No, I think I got it. So Debo's on his bench. He's keeping Debo on his bench. He cut Pickens for Shakir. And he just wants to make sure he made the right move by moving Pickens. Listen, I would have kept Pickens around because last week he had 2 touchdowns taken away. He's still an elite player. But if you need to win, I get it. If you need to win now, I 100% get it. But Shakir, at this moment in time, is he the wide receiver 3 there? Because Cooper's there. Because obviously Coleman's getting a bump up in targets and playing time. And then you still have Kincaid being out there. I don't know if Shakir was the right move for you, but it's a bold move. And if it works out, man, that's a story. If it works out.
Shakir had 7 targets
He did.
in this game against Tennessee when Cooper came. He had 10 targets last week, so he did
Yep.
get a bump up in
Yep.
production. He did lose snap percentage, but he's doing more with his targets now. So we'll see. I mean, Shakir's been pretty good all season. I don't think they're gonna just fade him out of the system at all. I think that
Nope.
entire front office likes him and are going to play toward him. I mean, they walked in the season saying Khalil Shakir is our wide receiver 1 on the team, and he's been proving that.
And hey, they're playing Miami this week. Start them all. Start them all, baby, because Miami sucks. Start them all.
In talks for a Gibbs trade, me too, actually. Gibbs owner wants Cup and Chuba. Accept or counter. He wants Cup. My wide receivers are Lamb, Cup, Higgins, Dell, Worthy, Hopkins, and Coleman. I would take Gibbs. Trade
He wants
Cup.
and Chuba. So he's doing Gibbs for Chuba and Cup.
I would take that.
Cup. My wide receivers are Lamb, Cup, Higgins, Dell, Worthy, Hopkins, Coleman. Man.
I take it. I would take it.
Here's my only problem.
I'm saying this because I don't think Hubbard is going to be the starting running back for the Panthers all season. I think Jonathan Brooks is going to be coming back very soon and taking.
Yeah, we've been saying that for weeks.
Yeah, but he's also coming off an ACL injury, so
yeah, and that's even more reasons to bring him in slow. Listen, I don't have as much confidence. It's week 9, and we've been saying Brooks is ready to come back for about 3-4 weeks now. And
what happens when he comes back week 12 slowly, and then he slowly gets more in 13 and 14? Then you get to the playoffs, and now you're screwed because Hubbard's getting you absolutely nothing when Gibbs is scoring 20 points a game.
No. I understand that. But what's to make you think that they're going to run Jonathan Brooks into the ground right away when they are a losing franchise? They have 2 wins going into week 14 or 13. Why would they even give him a full workload when you have Chuba there? That's my concern. Is he's going to come back too late? They're already one of the worst teams of all time. What makes you think they're going to get their investment more banged up this season? It makes no sense to me to bring him back and give up 20 carries a game. To me, it makes no sense. But Gibbs is so elite, but you have Monty there. See, that's the problem. Monty's like when Gibbs scores a touchdown, I'm no longer going, yes, I'm going, man, he's vultured Montgomery. Like, why is he vulturing Montgomery? I'm to that point.
Gibbs has still never seen a game under 12 points.
I love Gibbs. I'm just saying Cup is pretty damn good. I mean, Cup is like one of the most elite receivers in the league, whether you like him or not. I know you're against him. I know you're down on Cup, but Cup is still one of the most elite wide receivers in the league. But seeing your team, your makeup, I see you're leaving yourself with Higgins, who's hit or miss. Is he going to play? Is he not going to play? Tank Dell, that's great. Now the Diggs is gone. Worthy, so you have a lot of question marks at your wide receiver position. That's all.
You have Worthy and Hopkins. Whatever. Coleman apparently is a guy now, but
it's close.
I think I would still. Running backs are so hard to find, and when you can find a running back that's scoring a consistent 16 plus points, like 16's his floor, it seems like
he does need it because okay, take Gibbs. I'm okay with it. Take Gibbs. That's fine. It's a non-PPR league.
Non-PPR.
So that makes I read that afterwards, and that makes me more down on Cup. Okay, take Gibbs.
Yeah. Next one, running backs.
Well, I gotta ask Griff. Griff has an easy one. Should I? No, not that one. Should I drop Likely for Tracy Jr.?
Oh, that one.
Yes. Likely should have been dropped week 3. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tyrone Tracy has been killing it since week 5. So,
yeah, Likely is just another terrible tight end that we thought was going to be something. So he's easily droppable. All right, next guys on our list, we have a running. Next guy, we have a running back and a running back debate over here. We have Kareem Hunt off the couch versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday Night Football, or Chase Brown versus the Las Vegas Raiders. You went first last time, so I'm also going to go first this time. And this one's a slam dunk, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We could wham bam, thank you, ma'am, and move on to the next if you want, because it's Kareem Hunt, and it's not even close. Kareem Hunt, 16.2 points per game since coming back this season from the couch, 20-plus carries in the last 3 weeks. That's, find me a running back that does that. You can't. Josh Jacobs, maybe a couple other guys. It just doesn't happen as often. Kareem Hunt has zero competition. Isaiah Pacheco is still on the sideline. CEH is I don't even know if he plays football anymore. I couldn't even. Carson Steele was a joke. I still laugh at the people who thought he was going to be good. It's just Kareem Hunt is the guy there. He's getting all the goal line work. He's getting all the red zone work. They score touchdowns. They're a great team. They're going against the Buccaneers, who are decent against the run. Vita Vea easily, like, he's undervalued and underplayed, but he can easily take over an offensive line and just shut that running back down. He could do that. That's what I'm worried about. But I'm not really worried about Kareem Hunt's efficiency on the ground, as more as scoring touchdowns. That's what they brought him in here to do. That's what he has been doing. He's scoring touchdowns when they get to the goal line. This Mahomes team is finally getting into a groove. Yes, they lost Rashee Rice. That stinks. But it seems like they've been playing better, and I'm just Are you Thanosing me away again because you want the other guy? You are.
I don't know.
To me, it's just simple to me. Go with Kareem Hunt. Go with the better offense. Go with the team that's going to score more points overall, and that's the Chiefs.
I threw this one in here because I knew most people are going to say Kareem Hunt by far. Kareem Hunt has been doing great since week 5. Honestly, since week 4 when he came in, 10.5 points, 18.7, 22.3, 13.3. He is the clear. Like, I don't even know when Pacheco comes back. I don't think Hunt goes away. I think this now becomes a Gibbs-Monty situation where we now have 2 running backs can run the ball however we want them to run the ball. And that is great from that standpoint. But they are playing Tampa Bay on Monday Night Football. That could be a light it up game where maybe we actually see Patrick Mahomes become Patrick Mahomes and have to throw the ball a lot. The Bengals, on the other hand, are playing Las Vegas. And what we said earlier in the season about running backs that play against Las Vegas, start them up, because Las Vegas is one of the worst teams against the running back position. They always get scored on double digits. Now, Hunt has played significantly less snaps than Chase has, but Chase also wasn't really playing this first start of the season. The receiving game is the difference here. Chase has 21 targets on the season and has brought in 16 of those. Hunt only gets 7. He is really just a running back. He's not really utilized much in the passing game. So Chase does have a little bit more upside on that side of the field. I do really like Chase Brown in this matchup just because it is the Las Vegas Raiders, but I have such a hard time saying no to Kareem Hunt, because if you're a zero running back kind of player like I am, you probably picked up Kareem Hunt to be your RB1 like I did in a lot of leagues. I have both of these guys in a lot of leagues, and I think I still have to go Kareem Hunt, even though Chase Brown is playing the Raiders. And I'll take the L. I'll take the L when Chase Brown kills it, but I don't know how I can feasibly say go Brown over Hunt. Like, I want to be able to sleep tonight.
No, I'm in the same. Isn't that crazy? 2023, we're still telling you to start Kareem Hunt
on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Exactly. This is crazy. So
it's 2024, by the way.
Is it? Oh, dude, whatever. I don't even know what day it is half the time. But I do know this. Start Kareem Hunt on Monday Night Football. Plus, it's more fun to watch your guys on prime time, right? I'm a sucker for primetime players.
I personally hate it because I'm not actually watching them, and I find out the next morning how they did. And then I usually wake up in the morning mad because they didn't do good enough.
I'm always a guy who's like, all right, like, no matter what, I can get them back on Monday night. And I want that option. So if it's either like, I won the game, don't need Kareem Hunt, cool, or man, I need Kareem Hunt, let's go, I need 12 points. So that's what I do. That's baked into all my decisions, people. I know it's not professional. Let's answer Tony's question in the chat.
My wide receiver core right now is CeeDee Lamb, Puka, DK, McLaurin, Xavier Worthy, Cedric Tillman, and Jameson Williams. Go ahead and drop him. In a 3 wide receiver plus. I want to find something for getting another running back. Josh Downs is still on ad drop.
Yeah, that's wild. I would easily drop J-Mo for Josh Downs, because later in the comments he goes down and says he wants to add Downs, doesn't really need him. He also has
Kyron, Monty, Tracy, and Jonathan Taylor. Tight end, I haven't got the chance to get squared up, and I have Laporta and Hawk. That's not bad. We wrote a novel here. I'm the top team in the league by 100 points, but I always want to improve, as you should. I want to pick up Josh Downs because I'm a good player merchant, but I really don't need him at all. But it's good to have the best players on your team. What kind of players should I target in trading? I might overpay to upgrade a tight end. I mean, do you need to? I mean, yeah, Laporta is very touchdown dependent. He finally scored a touchdown this season last week. Hawkinson is,
Dude,
we hope to be Hawkinson still.
Hawkinson is like getting a trade acquisition, but you're just not because he's on your team already. I think you're fine. I really don't think you should be targeting anyone. You're set. You're set. I don't know your bench, and I don't know your lineup. I don't know if it's super flex league. I see. Oh, it says 3 wide receiver and plus flex. So
yeah,
I'm assuming 2 running backs as well with Kyron and Taylor and Tracy and Monty. This has to be a 4-team league. And no disrespect if it is, but you're freaking awesome. You're freaking set, bro. Like you don't need to worry about you literally don't need to worry about anything. If you wanted to,
Jameson for Josh Downs. That's my only suggestion.
I'd make that drop easily. And if you wanted to, like if you really wanted to upgrade 10-team, if you really wanted to upgrade a tight end position, you wanted to target McBride or Brock Bowers, which are the top 2 guys in my opinion, I would throw in Laporta and like Worthy and see if they're interested. If they're not interested, then I would move up to McLaurin. That's just me because you only need to start 3 receivers at CD, Puka, and DK. You're fine. And you're about to add Downs.
Yeah, and McLaurin actually has been wide receiver 2 over the last 3 weeks.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, yes, and throw him in there as in like, hey, look how awesome he is.
Yeah, he's been killing it the last couple of weeks. So if you, I think McLaurin is an easy trade target, and maybe get Tillman on to the guy who has Jameis Winston and be like, hey, you can pair him up. Like
10-team league, 10-team league, 1 quarterback.
It might not have
anyone starting Jameis Winston.
Yeah,
highly doubt it.
Yeah.
All right, our next decision we have another. We just talked about Josh Downs. Josh Downs and Cedric Tillman, who we just literally talked about. It's
so weird.
So we have the Colts at Minnesota Sunday Night Football. Sucker for primetime games. And then we have Cedric Tillman versus the LA Clippers. Yeah, that's what I see when I see that. I hate that they went to the freaking. I know I'm old, but to me, they're still San Diego. Still, I don't care. I do not care. But LAC, get out of here. Anyway, who are you going with?
Yeah, Cedric Tillman has been the rage. He was our pickup of the week. One of our pickups of the week. He has been killing it the last couple weeks, the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
Especially with Jameis Winston, Jameson Williams, Jameis Winston. That's 2 close of names. However, like we talked about at the top of the show, Joe Flacco is now the quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts moving forward. Josh Downs immediately improves. Although Josh Downs was wide receiver 6 last week, by the way, nobody talks about that. And he has actually done pretty well the last 2 weeks with Anthony Richardson. But Joe Flacco is back. This should be able to spread the ball around a lot more. The thing I am concerned about with Josh Downs is he is more of a deeper threat guy, and Flacco doesn't really throw the deep ball. This is going to be a lot of Michael Pittman, I believe. But Josh Downs does get utilization in the red zone. I think this could be a sneaky. Josh Downs might lead the entire game in fantasy points in a game that has Justin Jefferson. I'm going to lean towards Josh Downs this week.
I am also leaning towards Josh Downs. I know it's boring for everyone out there. I just, fool me. I'm not going to get fooled by Cedric Tillman. Not that he's a bad player. Not that he might not be the next big thing. But I'm sorry, man. Not that I never heard of you.
He might have hit his ceiling. We've talked about so many guys on this show where it's like, oh my God, they've been great the last 2 weeks, and then
they fall off.
Trey Tucker is a great example of, wow, he did really good, and then they lost Devontae Adams. He should do better, and then he hasn't done anything since.
Yeah, and same thing could be said for Jameson Williams, who we talked about 5 minutes ago. These players, they come and go, and they fall off, and they come back, and they're yo-yo players, and it happens more than you guys think. And then what happens is you jump on it, and you're like, yeah, this guy's great. He had 12 targets in week 7. He had 9 targets in week 8. Okay, well, he had 5 total from week 1 to 6. What happened then? Even in week 6 or week 7, he had 81% snap share, which is great. You want to see that. But again, he had 2 touchdowns last week, guys. Like, he had 7 catches, 2 touchdowns, and 99 yards. We're expecting a big uptick with Jameis Winston there. I get it. But at the end of the day, are you really going to put all your cards on the table for a guy who you've seen do it maybe once or twice? Josh Downs, you could say the same thing. But the thing with Josh Downs is he's been involved all season. We expected this. He was a sleeper or a person that we thought was going to break out this year. He had the projection of, yes, he's going to be good, and everyone was drafting him. Nobody was drafting Cedric Tillman. Nobody believed in him. And all of a sudden he has 2 blow-up games in a row, and boom, yes, we have to go get him. We've done this with Likely. We've done this with JMO. We've done this with, like you said before, I forgot the player's name, Trey Tucker. It just doesn't happen where these players randomly break out and they all just stay. You have to be very special, right? Puka did it last year. It was awesome. I just don't see this happening with Tillman back to back weeks. I don't see it. I'm going Josh Downs. More consistent player. He's going to get more playing time. Remember, they still have Elijah Moore over there in Cleveland. They still have Jerry Jeudy over there in Cleveland and David Njoku. So at best, Cedric Tillman's, you're looking at target number 4, whereas Josh Downs is probably target number 2 with Joe Flacco against the Minnesota Vikings, where they're going to be putting up points. The Browns can easily be, which all their games have been with the Chargers, the Clippers, if whatever you want to call them, field goal games. Good defense, kicking field goals. It's like literally every game they play is a high school game. I'm not confident that Jameis Winston's going to come out and throw 3 touchdowns. Maybe he may get held. Maybe this is the Jameis Winston, should he be the starter game? Maybe this is where he falls off a little bit, and Cedric Tillman will fall off with him. That's all I'm saying. Josh Downs for me, easily.
Easy
Not
money right there.
It's literally not easy. I've been wrong so many times on these stupid showdowns.
I don't like how much we are agreeing because of your record versus my record, but
or maybe you've turned me around to the good side. To like now I know.
Yeah, I mean, you've been on a fairly decent streak recently. Not doing too bad.
Not doing too bad.
It's not often I fall to a losing record on the week, so you're looking good. Just keep picking the same players as me. We differed in the quarterback position so far, but it's fine. You can finish 3-1 and I'll finish 4-0.
Yeah.
All right. You want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, we'll move on. Man, I have
where we are.
I still haven't decided who I'm starting, to be honest with you. So I cannot go first. I cannot go first because I don't know to this point. I still don't know because I don't want to start either. I don't.
This one is so hard because it shouldn't be this hard. Like, it should just be, start Kincaid because that's the guy that's the stud. But Dalton Kincaid is not that guy anymore. He currently, he's tied in 12 in the season so far. That's great. But he's tied in 16 points per game. Tucker Kraft is tied in 5 so far this season. That's pretty good. Kincaid is getting way more targets, 44 to Kraft's 33. So, but Kraft is doing a lot more, 342 yards to Kincaid's 300. So that's a lot better. He's scoring way more touchdowns. He's getting better deep balls. He's just the better player right now. And this is definitely somebody that I have a feeling that we're going to talk about Tucker Kraft this year, and then we're not going to talk about Tucker Kraft next year. Not in the same way. It'll be like Dalton Kincaid, Sam Laporta, like you. But he's been getting touchdowns, 5 touchdowns over the last 5 weeks. That's great. He's only had 1 bad game over the last 5 weeks, and that was against Arizona. He's going up against Detroit. That's the tough part. This is the kicker. This is always the thing, is that this is a fairly you start Tucker Kraft. He's better. He's doing better. He's not better, but he's doing better. But he goes up against a tough defense where the Bills got Miami.
Hey, chill, bro.
In Buffalo. When does Miami win in Buffalo? Do they?
I don't know. Not since my son's been born.
Exactly. So do you trust?
I don't know. Who knows?
Do you trust maybe Malik Willis, maybe Jordan Love to get Tucker Kraft involved in this game? Or do you trust Josh Allen and Dalton Kincaid?
That's what it comes down to. So I don't think you've given out who you're going to go with yet, which is fine because let me give you my argument because that's great. So that's what we should do.
Let's both
forward.
make our points and then we come to it.
Yeah. I like that. So I'm sitting here going, I asked a Packers fan before the show, who would you start, Dalton Kincaid or Tucker Kraft? He said Dalton Kincaid. He's afraid that Malik Willis won't get. He's under the assumption that Malik Willis is starting no matter what. He does have zero expectations. Love plays. That's what his expectations.
As of this morning, Love is projected to play.
Okay, but he has 0. So if Love plays, I'm going Tucker Kraft. If Love does not play, I'm going Malik Willis, or I'm going Dalton Kincaid. I did the opposite of what I said I was going to do. But Kraft is a touchdown dependent tight end right now. He does have 1, 2, 3, 4, all of his touchdowns since week 4, all of them. Last week he had 3 catches, 1 touchdown, 16.8 points. That's great. The week before that, only 3 catches, 1 touchdown, 12.3. That's great. The week before that, only 2, no touchdowns. What's going to happen when he doesn't score a touchdown? When he doesn't score a touchdown, he's 4.4 points per game. It's not great. It's like every other tight end in the world. Dalton Kincaid has a game-breaking mentality, which he hasn't done yet, by the way. Josh has not thrown him the ball nearly enough as he should, or as we thought he should. 6-7 targets a game is great, but it's not really converting for anything. He has 2 touchdowns on the year. That's the problem. When they get down to touchdown zone, when in the red zone, they lean towards James Cook. Josh Allen takes over. He runs. They're not really looking for Dalton Kincaid, as we thought they were going to do. All that being said, they're both divisional games. They both know each other very well. One team dominates the other, literally for the past 10 years, it feels like. Josh Allen's going to murder Miami. And I expect Dalton Kincaid to have a better game than Tucker Kraft because of that. And I don't think Jordan Love plays. I'm just a pessimist. I think it's going to be Malik Willis, unfortunately. And I think for that reason, that's why I'm going Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah, I'm very. Kraft hasn't done anything with Willis, so I think your statement about if Malik Willis starts, Kincaid, if Jordan Love starts, Tucker Kraft. So this is something that I would definitely keep an eye on. What happens with the Packers? Do you know what time these games are? You probably don't. I should know this.
Do you think I know what time it is now?
This is my department, isn't it? Let's look at this. So the Bills play at 1:00. The Packers play at 4:25. So you won't actually know. So that does suck for you. I think if no matter what, I'm going Dalton Kincaid this week. Because you don't know unless at 11:00 they say Jordan Love is going to play, but they said he's going to be a game time decision and figure out then. And because of that, I'm a little weary if Willis does come in and play. So take the safe bet, take the safe 7 targets that Dalton Kincaid is going to get no matter what, whereas Kraft only gets 4 or 5 targets.
Yep.
Kincaid will get you 7. They're playing Miami, who doesn't win in Buffalo. So I'm going to go no matter what, Dalton Kincaid, since we have to pick one.
There we go. Listen, it comes down to Caleb versus the other bum that you want to start.
Next.
Yeah, the bum, exactly. That you want to start.
I mean, we could both go 1-3 this week. So no, we can't. No, we can't.
We literally
could go. You could go. I could go 1-3. You could go 1-3. The other's going 0-4. So
it's going to be fun times. Thanks to everyone, honestly, for watching the show. We have a lot of fun on these shows, but we have more fun on the Friday shows. So make sure you come over to Friday noon. Hopefully Justin is equipped with all of his equipment. He can actually do the show. We'll see. But we're going to go
having construction done, and they're doing the work in the closet that is currently my studio. So
Okay. Well, we'll see you there. We're going to be breaking down our rankings. Yes. You have this guy ranked this guy. I have this guy ranked this guy. All the fun stuff. So make sure you follow us there. OUSFF Pod for more information. Until then, we'll see you Friday, guys. Peace out.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. Follow on X and Instagram at OUSFFPOD. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.